Picture this. The nation is glued to their TVs. Bottle caps clutch like lottery tickets. A number is read aloud. It matches yours. You've just won more money than you've ever imagined. Your neighbors are screaming, you're shaking, your life is about to change forever. Now imagine that dream ripped away within hours, replaced by riots, firebombs, and lawsuits that drag on for over a decade. This is the story of Pepsi's number fever, a marketing stunt so disastrous, it not only ignited chaos in the Philippines, but also changed the way corporations all over the world think about promotions, consumer trust, and legal liability. It's a story of hope, betrayal, and the devastating power of a broken promise. Let's delve into it. In 1992, the Philippines was a country where opportunity often felt out of reach for ordinary families. The average monthly family income? Just about $100 USD. ₱1,000,000, roughly $40,000 at the time, could mean buying a home, starting a business, sending your kids to college, and still having money left over. Against this backdrop, Pepsi launched Number Fever, a nationwide contest printed under bottle caps. Most caps had numbers that could win small prizes, cash, groceries, or appliances. But a few had the jackpot number. It was brilliantly marketed. TV commercials showed overjoyed winners clutching giant checks. Radio jingles played constantly. Schools, offices, and street markets buzzed with one topic. What number will it be tonight? Sales skyrocketed, up 40% in months. Production doubled. Pepsi's market share in the Philippines leapt from 19% to 24%, closing the gap with Coke. For a while, Number Fever wasn't just an ad campaign, it was a national obsession. On May 25, 1992, 70% of the country tuned in for the jackpot announcement. That's tens of millions of people, watching, waiting, dreaming. The winning number, 349. The reaction was instant and electric. People poured into the streets cheering. Fireworks lit the night. Families embraced. Neighbors celebrated. And some even started planning what they'd buy the next day. In one Manila neighborhood, a single mother named Marites reportedly collapsed in tears. Clutching her winning cap, she'd already told her children they could finally leave their cramped one-room home. Across town, a factory worker named Ernesto called in sick to work, certain his days on the assembly line were over. But as the night wore on, something strange happened. Far too many people had the winning number. Not hundreds, not thousands, but hundreds of thousands. The next morning, Pepsi revealed the truth. A computer glitch had printed the number 349 on 800,000 bottle caps instead of just 2. And only 2 of those had the hidden security code that made them valid. Everyone else's caps? Worthless. Bottling plants closed their gates. The company went silent. The night of joy became a night of betrayal. The fallout was just beginning. The next day, hope turned to fury. For many, this wasn't just disappointment, it was crushing devastation. Some had spent their last pesos buying Pepsi by the crate. Others had borrowed money. Many truly believed they were holding their family's ticket out of poverty. The anger was explosive. Riots erupted across the country. Pepsi delivery trucks were hijacked and burned, more than 35 destroyed. Bottling plants were attacked with Molotov cocktails. Pepsi executives received death threats. The company fortified its Manila offices with barbed wire and hired armed guards. But violence continued. Even grenades were thrown. In the end, at least 5 people were killed in the unrest. In one chilling incident, a truck carrying Pepsi products was ambushed and set ablaze while still on the road. In another, protesters surrounded a bottling facility, chanting, "Bayaran nyo kami," "Pay us," until police arrived to break it up. Pepsi's blunder had become a social crisis. Pepsi was under siege. Its brand now a symbol of betrayal. Executives scrambled. Their goodwill offer of 500 pesos per cap was seen as an insult. Protests intensified. Security costs soared. Executives received death threats, and some fled the country. Pepsi blamed a consulting firm, but the public wanted answers from Pepsi, not excuses. Operations ground to a halt. Sales plummeted. The campaign that once brought record profits now threatened the company's survival. The crisis exposed Pepsi's lack of oversight and planning. The company was trapped by its own success. There was no easy escape. Pepsi scrambled to contain the fallout, offering 500 pesos, about $20 USD, for each misprinted cap. That goodwill gesture cost $10 million, but it wasn't enough. Over 5,800 legal cases were filed, from small claims to a $400 million class action lawsuit. Consumers argued the promotion never mentioned any security code, so every 349 cap should be valid. The legal fight dragged on for more than a decade. By 1994, most criminal complaints had been dismissed, but civil suits lingered. In 2006, the Philippine Supreme Court ruled in Pepsi's favor, deciding that the presence of unadvertised security codes was a legitimate fraud prevention method, and that there was no evidence of malice or gross negligence. The number fever disaster didn't just leave a scar on Pepsi's image in the Philippines, it rippled through corporate law worldwide. After the fiasco, marketing laws in several countries became stricter, requiring companies to clearly disclose contest rules and eligibility requirements. Regulators began enforcing transparency in prize verification systems. Internal auditing of promotional campaigns became standard practice to avoid mass winner incidents. Corporate law scholars began using the case to illustrate how contractual promises in advertising can create binding obligations, and how ambiguity can lead to massive liability. In corporate boardrooms, the Pepsi incident became a cautionary tale. The cost of an operational error in a promotion could sink even a global giant. Today, multinational corporations spend millions annually on legal review for campaigns, not just to avoid lawsuits, but to protect brand trust. In the Philippines, getting 349 entered slang as a bitter joke for being duped by a false promise. For Pepsi, it was a permanent PR scar. Even years later, older generations still remember the chaos. And for some, the bitterness never faded. What began as a $2 million marketing campaign almost became a $32 billion disaster, more than 60% of the country's GDP at the time. It remains one of the most expensive corporate mistakes in marketing history. The number fever fiasco is more than a quirky story from the 90s. It's a warning about the fragile bond of trust between corporations and consumers. When a company makes a promise, whether it's printed under a bottle cap or plastered on a billboard, it's not just a line of marketing copy. For someone out there, it might represent hope, opportunity, and a chance at a better life. Breaking that promise can have consequences far beyond the balance sheet. So as consumers, we have to stay alert, read the fine print, question the offers that seem too good to be true, demand transparency and accountability from the brands we support. And for businesses, let number fever stand as a monument to the cost of getting it wrong, because in the court of public opinion, a single mistake can burn for decades. If this story made you think twice about corporate promises, share it and subscribe to the channel for more insightful law breakdowns. Let's make sure the lesson of 349 isn't forgotten, because history has a way of repeating itself when we're not paying attention. Thank you for watching. Catch you in the next one.